Hello, and welcome to Sleepy Psychology. If you found your way here tonight, perhaps it's because you've always wondered about dreams. Because you wake up with fragments of impossible worlds slipping through your fingers. Because you felt that strange frustration of knowing you were somewhere vivid and real just moments ago. And now it's gone. You're not alone in this. And nothing is wrong with you. Tonight, we're going to explore one of the most beautiful mysteries of your mind. Not why you dream, but why you forget. Why those vivid nighttime journeys dissolve like smoke. Why your brain creates entire worlds every night and then lets them slip away by morning. This isn't a story about fixing your memory or forcing yourself to remember. It's about understanding something far more profound. About discovering that forgetting your dreams isn't a failure. It's a feature. A deliberate, protective, essential part of how your mind takes care of you. We'll journey through the sleeping brain together. We'll discover why dreams feel so real in the moment but become so hazy afterward. We'll understand how your brain heals emotional wounds while you sleep, why nightmares exist, and how dreams helped Edison and Einstein solve problems that logic couldn't touch. We'll explore why some people dream in color while others don't, how blind people experience dreams, and why you've been dreaming since before you were born. There are 100 facts woven into this journey. 100 pieces of science transformed into a story that will carry you deeper and deeper into understanding, and eventually, into the rest you've been seeking. This journey will take us 2 hours. 2 hours where you don't have to do anything. Where you don't have to remember or analyze or figure anything out. You can simply listen, drift, and let the story carry you wherever you need to go. Some of you will hear every word. Some will drift in and out, catching pieces here and there. Some will fall asleep in the first 10 minutes. All of these are perfect. There's no wrong way to experience this. Before we begin, get comfortable. Adjust your pillows. Let your body settle completely into the surface beneath you. You won't need to move again. Take a slow breath in, and release everything you've been carrying today. Again, breathing in the quiet, breathing out the noise. One more time. In, and let go. If you're already feeling sleepy, that's wonderful. If your mind is still active, that's perfectly natural. Wherever you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. So soften your gaze, or let your eyes close completely. Relax your jaw. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. You are safe here. The night is long. There's nowhere you need to be. Nothing you need to do. No dreams you need to remember. No understanding you need to force. You can simply be here, breathing, listening, allowing your mind to wander wherever it wants to go. And now, let's begin this gentle journey together. Into the mystery of why your brain creates dreams you barely remember. Into the understanding of why forgetting is just as important as dreaming. Into the discovery of what your sleeping mind has been doing for you every single night of your life. Breathe. Settle. Trust. The story of your dreaming mind is about to unfold. And all you have to do is listen. And let go. Let's begin. Close your eyes. Take a slow breath in. And let it go. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, we're going to explore one of the most beautiful mysteries of your mind. Not why you dream, but why you forget. If you've ever woken up with the ghost of a dream still lingering, only to watch it dissolve like smoke between your fingers, you already know this feeling. That strange frustration of knowing you were somewhere, doing something, experiencing something vivid and real, and now it's gone. But here's what I want you to understand, right from the beginning. Your brain isn't broken. You're not doing anything wrong. In fact, your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. You see, forgetting your dreams isn't a failure of memory. It's actually a feature, a deliberate part of how your mind protects itself, cleanses itself, and prepares you for another day of being awake and alert and present in the real world. Let me explain. Right now, as you settle into this moment, your brain is preparing for something remarkable. Soon, when you fall asleep, your neurochemistry will shift in profound ways. Certain chemicals that help you form and retain memories during the day, they're going to fade away. Specifically, Two key neurotransmitters, norepinephrine and serotonin, drop to almost nothing during the dream state. These chemicals are like the ink your brain uses to write permanent records. Without them, your dreams are written in disappearing ink. Your brain experiences the dream fully, processes it, feels it, but it never commits it to long-term storage. This isn't an accident. This is by design. Your brain is chemically programmed to let dreams slip away. And there's something deeply peaceful about understanding this. It means you can stop trying so hard to hold on to them. You can let them come and go, like waves on a shore, knowing that this forgetting is natural, intentional, even necessary. Think about it this way. Every dream memory is fragile. Astonishingly fragile. Scientists have discovered that dream memories begin to fade within just minutes of waking. Minutes. Not hours or days. Minutes. That vivid, elaborate dream you had? If you don't capture it almost immediately, if you don't replay it in your mind or write it down or tell someone about it right away, it simply evaporates. The details blur first, then the emotions, then the narrative itself, until all you're left with is a vague sense that you dreamed at all. This rapid fading happens because of another fascinating mechanism in your brain. During dreaming, particularly during REM sleep when your most vivid dreams occur, something remarkable happens to your hippocampus. The hippocampus is your brain's memory hub. It's the structure that takes your experiences and converts them into lasting memories. It binds together all the different elements of an experience, the sights, the sounds, the feelings, the context, and files them away for future retrieval. But during REM sleep, your hippocampus essentially disconnects. It goes offline. It stops doing its primary job of encoding new memories. Instead, it's busy doing other things, processing emotions, consolidating older memories, working through unresolved feelings and experiences. So when you're dreaming, you're having these rich, immersive experiences. But the very part of your brain responsible for recording them is unavailable. It's like trying to film a movie when the camera isn't recording. You're living through it, but nothing is being saved. This is why dreams feel so vivid in the moment but become so hazy afterward. You experienced them. You were there. But there was no one taking notes. Now, here's something fascinating. Whether you remember a dream at all often comes down to a single factor: timing. If you wake up naturally during or immediately after a dream, especially during a REM period, you have a decent chance of remembering it. The dream is still fresh, still active in your consciousness. Your brain hasn't had time to sweep it away yet. But if you wake up during deep, non-REM sleep, or if significant time passes between your dream and your waking, the memory is likely already gone. It's not stored anywhere you can access. It never made it to the archives. This is why you might remember a dream vividly one morning and nothing at all the next. It's not about the importance or intensity of the dream. It's simply about when you woke up. And here's another curious aspect of dream memory. Dreams don't flow the way we think they do. We tend to imagine our dreams as stories that unfold forward in time, with a beginning, a middle, and an end. But that's not quite accurate. When you wake up and remember a dream, your brain is actually constructing a narrative backward. It takes fragments, images, emotions, disconnected moments, and weaves them together into something that feels like a coherent story. But that story is being assembled after the fact, not experienced in sequence while you were dreaming. This backward construction is part of why dreams feel so strange when we try to recount them. Why the logic doesn't quite work. Why the timeline seems fuzzy. Your waking mind is doing its best to make sense of something that never had a proper narrative structure to begin with. So when you forget a dream, you're not just losing the memory of a story. You're losing fragments that were never fully assembled in the first place. Now, let's step back even further and ask, why? Why would our brains be built this way? Why would we dream so much, so vividly, only to forget it all? The answer might surprise you. Forgetting dreams is actually protective. It's evolutionarily adaptive. Imagine if you remembered every dream with the same clarity you remember waking life. You'd wake up every morning with a full set of false memories. Conversations that never happened. Places you never visited. Things you never did. It would become nearly impossible to distinguish reality from imagination. Your sense of what's real would become hopelessly muddled. You'd lose your grip on the actual timeline of your life, the actual relationships you have, the actual things that have happened to you. By forgetting dreams, your brain maintains a clear boundary between the real and the imagined, between what actually happened and what your sleeping mind conjured up. This clarity is essential for functioning in the world, for making decisions, for maintaining relationships, for simply knowing what's true. So forgetting isn't a bug. It's a crucial feature that keeps you grounded in reality. But here's something interesting. Even though your brain is designed to forget dreams, your attitude toward them matters. Research has shown that people who value their dreams, who are curious about them, who believe they might be meaningful, these people tend to remember more of their dreams. Not because their brains work differently, but because they pay attention. They pause when they wake up. They reflect. They create space for the memory to stabilize before it fades. Your relationship with your dreams actually influences how accessible they are. If you dismiss them as meaningless static, your brain takes the hint and clears them away more efficiently. But if you treat them with gentle curiosity, if you wonder about them even for a moment, you give those fragile memories a chance to take root. There's also a fascinating neurological marker of dream recall. Scientists have discovered that the presence of certain brain waves, specifically theta waves, in the moments right after waking, predicts whether you'll remember your dreams. Theta waves are associated with drowsy, reflective states. That liminal space between sleeping and full wakefulness. If you linger in that space, if you don't jump immediately into alertness and action, your dreams have a better chance of staying with you. This is why those mornings when you wake up slowly, when you stay cozy under the covers for a few extra minutes, when you let your mind wander, those are the mornings you're most likely to remember what you dreamed. Here's another interesting pattern. People who daydream frequently during their waking hours tend to remember more of their sleeping dreams. There seems to be a connection between a mind that naturally wanders, that drifts into imagination, and a brain that holds onto those nighttime journeys a little longer. Perhaps frequent daydreamers are simply more comfortable in that imaginal space, more practiced at noticing and retaining the products of their mind's creative wanderings, whether those happen at noon or at 3 in the morning. And finally, there's a specific region of your brain that plays a fascinating role in all of this. The temporoparietal junction, or TPJ. This area is involved in distinguishing self from other, in spatial awareness, in attention. When you have brief awakenings during the night, micromoments where you almost surface into consciousness, your TPJ becomes more active. And these brief awakenings, these little blips of near wakefulness during your sleep, they're actually what allow dream memories to transfer from the fleeting, fragile state into something more lasting. People who wake up briefly several times during the night, even if they don't fully wake up or remember waking, tend to remember more dreams. Their TPJ has more opportunities to grab hold of the dream content and begin the process of encoding it into memory. So even the quality and pattern of your sleep affects what you'll remember come morning. All of this, every mechanism I've described, works together in a beautiful, complex system. A system designed not to help you remember your dreams, but to help you forget them. To experience them fully in the moment, to let them do whatever mysterious work they do in your mind, and then to release them back into the void. And that's okay. That's exactly how it should be. You don't need to remember every dream to benefit from dreaming. The processing happens whether you recall it or not. The emotions are worked through. The memories are consolidated. The creativity flows. All of it occurs in the dark, below the surface of your awareness, doing its work and then dissolving away. So tonight, as you drift off, you can let go of any frustration about forgetting. You can surrender to the natural rhythm of your mind. Dream richly, vividly, deeply, and then, when morning comes, let those dreams slip away like mist. Your brain knows what it's doing. Trust it. Trust the forgetting as much as the dreaming itself. And rest easy, knowing that in forgetting, you're doing exactly what you were designed to do. Now that you understand why dreams slip away so easily, let's journey deeper. Let's step inside the dreaming brain itself and discover what's actually happening while you sleep. Breathe slowly. Let your body sink a little deeper into comfort. There's a common belief about dreams that almost everyone holds. We think dreams happen during REM sleep, that phase of rapid eye movement when our eyes dart back and forth beneath closed lids. And while it's true that REM sleep produces our most vivid, story-like dreams, it's not the only time we dream. In fact, you dream throughout the night. During every stage of sleep, your mind is active, creating experiences, generating imagery, processing information. The dreams that occur outside of REM are usually quieter, more thought-like, less fantastical. They feel more like drifting thoughts than immersive experiences. But they're still dreams. So even in the deepest phases of sleep, when your body is most still and your breathing most regular, something is happening in your mind. You're never truly blank, never truly empty. There's always a flicker of consciousness, a whisper of experience, even if you'll never remember it. But what triggers dreaming in the first place? What tells your brain it's time to start creating these inner worlds? For years, scientists focused on sleep stages, on REM and non-REM cycles, as if the stage itself caused the dream. But they were looking in the wrong place. The real switch, the chemical that turns dreaming on, is dopamine. Dopamine. That same neurotransmitter associated with motivation, pleasure, reward, and desire during your waking life. It's also the spark that ignites dreams. When dopamine levels rise in certain parts of your brain, particularly in areas that control motivation and goal-seeking behavior, dreaming begins. Your mind starts generating scenarios, narratives, experiences. It creates worlds to explore and problems to solve, even if those problems make no logical sense. Dopamine doesn't just allow you to dream. It drives the content of dreams toward emotionally significant material, toward unresolved desires, toward things that matter to you, things your mind is still processing. So in a way, dreaming is your brain's dopamine system running free, exploring possibilities, rehearsing scenarios, chasing threads of meaning without the constraints of waking reality. But while dopamine switches dreams on, another part of your brain switches off. And this shutdown is just as important. Your prefrontal cortex, the area right behind your forehead, is responsible for logic, planning, self-awareness, and critical thinking. It's the part of you that asks, does this make sense? Is this real? Am I dreaming? During REM sleep, this region goes quiet. Blood flow decreases. Neural activity drops. Your inner critic, your logical analyzer, essentially goes offline. And this is why dreams feel so believable in the moment. Why you don't question the impossible. Why you accept that you can fly, or that your childhood home has rooms you've never seen before, or that someone you love has somehow become someone else entirely. Without your prefrontal cortex actively monitoring reality, your dreaming mind simply accepts whatever unfolds. There's no one there to say, wait, this doesn't make sense. No one to break the spell. This creates a remarkable state. You're conscious, experiencing, feeling, but without self-reflection, without skepticism. You're utterly absorbed in the dream, unable to step back and recognize it for what it is. So what are dreams, really, if not stories narrated by a logical mind? Dreams are imagery-driven simulations. They're your brain creating experiences primarily through images, sensations, and emotions, not through language or linear thought. Think about your dreams. They don't usually involve reading long passages of text or having detailed philosophical conversations. Instead, they're visual, spatial, embodied. You're somewhere. You're doing something. You're moving through space. You're feeling. This is because dreams emerge from older, more primal parts of your brain. The parts that process vision, emotion, memory, and spatial awareness. Not the newer parts that handle complex language and abstract reasoning. Your dreaming brain is essentially running a simulation, generating a virtual reality that feels completely real while you're in it. And it is a kind of virtual reality, a fully immersive, internally generated world that your brain constructs moment by moment. During dreams, your visual cortex lights up as if you're actually seeing things. Your motor cortex activates as if you're actually moving. Your emotional centers respond as if the threats and joys you're experiencing are genuine. Your brain doesn't distinguish between the dream and reality while it's happening. To your sleeping mind, the dream is reality. The simulation is complete. The virtual world is the only world that exists in that moment. This is why dreams can be so emotionally powerful. Why a nightmare can leave you shaken even after you wake up and realize it wasn't real. Your brain experienced it as real. Your body responded to it as real. The fear, the joy, the sadness, all of it was genuine, even if the circumstances were imaginary. There's even evidence that specific neurons in your brain, called head direction neurons, are active during dreams. These are cells that normally help you navigate physical space, telling you which direction you're facing, helping you maintain your sense of orientation. During dreams, these neurons fire as if you're actually moving through space. As if you're walking down a hallway, turning a corner, climbing stairs, running through a field. Your brain is simulating movement so convincingly that the neurons responsible for tracking that movement are fully engaged. You're not moving, of course. Your body is paralyzed during REM sleep, a protective mechanism that keeps you from acting out your dreams. But your brain doesn't know that. As far as your neural systems are concerned, you're on a journey. Now, while all this is happening, while your brain is constructing these elaborate simulations, something else remarkable is taking place. Something deeply soothing and protective. The chemicals associated with anxiety and stress, particularly norepinephrine, virtually disappear during REM sleep. Norepinephrine is your brain's alert system. It's what keeps you vigilant, reactive, ready to respond to threats. During your waking hours, it's essential. But during REM sleep, it drops to nearly zero. This creates a unique neurochemical environment. You can experience intense emotions in dreams. You can face fears, confront difficult memories, replay troubling situations, but without the physical stress response that would normally accompany those experiences. Your heart doesn't race the way it would in waking life. Your fight-or-flight system doesn't fully engage. The dream can be terrifying, but your body remains calm. This neurochemical safety net is crucial. It allows your brain to do something extraordinary. Dreams provide a space for emotional processing to happen safely. A space where you can encounter difficult feelings, revisit painful memories, work through unresolved conflicts, all while your stress chemistry is turned down. It's like having a rehearsal for life's challenges in a padded room. You can fall, fail, face your fears, experience loss, and your nervous system won't be overwhelmed by it. You're protected by the unique chemistry of the dreaming state. This is one of the most important functions of dreaming. Not to predict the future or receive mystical messages, but simply to process emotions in a low-stakes environment. To let feelings flow through you without the full burden of stress hormones amplifying them into something unbearable. Your dreaming brain is essentially a therapist that works while you sleep, helping you metabolize your emotional life, one surreal scenario at a time. And your brain is quite selective about what it chooses to process. Dreams don't pull randomly from everything that happened to you. They prioritize emotionally charged memories. Experiences that carried some weight, some significance, some unresolved feeling. That awkward conversation you had. The moment of unexpected joy. The worry you've been carrying. The person you miss. The problem you can't quite solve. These are the raw materials of dreams. Not the mundane, routine, forgettable moments, but the things that stirred something in you. The things that your brain flagged as important, as requiring deeper processing. This is why you might dream about a brief but emotionally intense interaction from 3 days ago, but not about the hour you spent doing laundry. The laundry didn't matter to your emotional system. It didn't require processing. But that interaction, that moment of connection or conflict or confusion, that's worth exploring in the dream space. Your brain is constantly triaging your experiences, deciding what needs to be integrated, understood, emotionally digested. And dreams are where that work happens. But here's the trade-off. To make room for this emotional processing, to prioritize the memories that matter, your brain has to let other things go. Mundane memories, routine details, everyday facts that don't carry emotional weight, these are sacrificed. They're allowed to fade, to be overwritten, to dissolve back into the background noise of existence. Your brain has limited storage capacity, limited processing power. It can't keep everything. So it makes choices. It preserves what seems important, what feels significant, what might be useful later. And it releases the rest. This is why you might have trouble remembering what you ate for lunch last Tuesday, but you remember exactly how you felt during a difficult conversation years ago. The feeling was worth keeping. The lunch was not. And dreams are part of this sorting process. They're where your brain reviews the day's emotional content, decides what to keep, what to integrate, what to transform, and what to simply let go. So when you dream, you're not just watching random neural noise. You're witnessing a sophisticated emotional filing system at work. A system that protects you from being overwhelmed, that processes difficult feelings in a safe space, that prioritizes what matters and releases what doesn't. All of this happens automatically. You don't have to think about it or control it or even remember it. Your brain knows what to do. It creates these vivid, immersive simulations. It moves you through impossible spaces. It brings up the feelings that need attention. It does so with your stress response dampened, your critical thinking suspended, your dopamine flowing. And then, when you wake, it lets most of it go, releases it back into the void, keeps only what needs to be kept and clears away the rest. This is the dreaming brain. A builder of worlds. A processor of emotions. A virtual reality generator that runs every night, doing its essential work in the darkness, preparing you for another day of being awake and alive and present. You don't need to understand all the details. You don't need to remember the dreams themselves. You just need to let it happen. Trust your brain. Trust the dopamine switch that turns dreams on and the prefrontal shutdown that lets them flow freely. Trust the absence of stress chemicals that keeps you safe while you process difficult things. Trust the prioritization system that knows what matters and what doesn't. Your dreaming mind is wiser than you know. It's been doing this work since you were born, and it will continue doing it every night of your life. So let it work. Let the simulations run. Let the emotions flow. Let the mundane memories fade away. And rest in the knowledge that while you sleep, something profound is happening. Something protective and necessary and beautifully complex. Your brain is taking care of you. Just as it always has. Just as it always will. Rest now. Let the dreams come. You're in good hands. Let yourself settle even deeper now. Feel the weight of your body. Feel how supported you are. Because what we're about to explore is perhaps the most comforting truth about dreams. The most reassuring thing your sleeping mind does for you, night after night, without you ever having to ask. Dreams heal you. Not in some mystical or metaphorical way, but in a real, measurable, neurological sense. While you sleep, while you dream, your brain is actively working to process emotional trauma, to take the painful experiences you've lived through and soften their edges, to help you carry them more lightly. Think about something difficult that happened to you in the past. Maybe months ago, maybe years. When you first experienced it, the memory might have felt sharp, raw, almost unbearable to touch. But now, if you bring it to mind, it's probably gentler. Still meaningful, still part of your story, but not as overwhelming. Not as activating. That softening didn't happen by accident. It happened through a process. And a significant part of that process occurred while you were dreaming. During dreams, your brain revisits emotional experiences, but in that unique chemical environment we talked about earlier, with stress hormones turned down, with your logical mind offline, in a space where you can feel the feelings without being consumed by them. Each time you dream about something difficult, even indirectly, even symbolically, your brain is practicing being with that emotion in a calmer state. It's gradually separating the memory from the intensity of the stress response, learning that you can remember without reliving, that you can touch the memory without being burned by it. This is emotional healing at a neural level, and it happens automatically every time you sleep. There's something else beautiful about this process. It's not just difficult dreams that heal you. Positive dreams, pleasant dreams, joyful dreams, they improve your emotional regulation too. When you dream of something wonderful, something peaceful, something satisfying, your brain is practicing positive emotional states. It's reinforcing neural pathways associated with contentment, safety, connection, joy. You wake up from a good dream feeling lighter, even if you can't quite remember what the dream was about. That residue of good feeling, that's your brain having strengthened its capacity for positive emotion while you slept. So whether your dreams are difficult or delightful, they're serving you. They're tuning your emotional instrument, helping you access a wider range of feelings, helping you regulate your responses to the world. The technical term for what happens during emotional dreams is desensitization. Your brain is gradually reducing the intensity of your emotional reactions by exposing you to those emotions in a safe context. It's similar to what happens in certain forms of therapy. You approach the difficult feeling slowly, in a controlled way, while remaining safe and supported. Over time, the feeling becomes more manageable. The memory loses its power to overwhelm you. Dreams do this naturally. They bring up the emotional content that needs processing, they expose you to it without the full stress response, and over time, the intensity decreases. The wound heals. The memory becomes just a memory, not a trigger. You don't have to do anything to make this happen. You don't have to remember the dreams or analyze them or understand them. The healing happens beneath your awareness, in the quiet architecture of your sleeping brain. Now, here's something fascinating. When researchers ask people to describe their dreams, and then show those descriptions to outside observers, something interesting emerges. The outside observers judge the dreams as more negative than the dreamers themselves do. What feels neutral or even mildly interesting to the dreamer often appears distressing or disturbing to someone reading about it. Why? Because the dreamer experienced the dream without the full load of waking anxiety. They were in that protected neurochemical state. They moved through the dream with a certain ease, a certain emotional buffer. But the outside observer, reading about it with their full waking consciousness intact, imagines how distressing those events would be if they happened in real life. They bring their anxiety to the description. They project their stress response onto it. This tells us something important. Dreams might seem strange or dark or troubling when we recount them, but while we're in them, we're actually more emotionally resilient than we realize. We're protected by the chemistry of sleep. We're able to handle difficult content with more grace than we could while awake. So if you ever remember a dream and think, why would my mind create something so upsetting? Remember this. It probably wasn't as upsetting in the moment as it seems in retrospect. You were safe in the dream. Your brain was protecting you even as it brought up difficult material. And the content of dreams isn't random, even though it often feels that way. Research shows that blind observers, people who know nothing about your life, can actually identify elements from your recent waking experiences when they look at your dreams. Not perfectly, of course. Dreams are too symbolic, too distorted, too strange for direct translation. But the echoes are there. The themes, the emotions, the concerns, the unresolved moments from your day, they leak into your dreams in recognizable ways. Recent waking events appear in dreams, sometimes directly, more often in disguised form. That stressful meeting becomes a dream about being chased. That moment of connection becomes a dream about finding something beautiful. That worry you've been carrying becomes a dream about losing something important. Your waking life is the raw material. Your dreaming mind is the artist, transforming that material into something surreal, symbolic, emotionally resonant. And what determines which waking events make it into your dreams? What decides which moments are worth processing? Cortisol, your stress hormone, plays a significant role. Experiences that elevated your cortisol levels, that activated your stress response, those are the ones most likely to appear in your dreams. Not because your brain wants to torture you, but because those are the experiences that need processing. Those are the moments that created an emotional charge, that left an imprint, that require integration. When your cortisol rises during the day, it flags that moment as significant. And later, when you dream, your brain returns to it, works with it, tries to metabolize it, transform it, resolve it. So cortisol shapes dream content by marking what matters. And then dreams help you discharge that cortisol, process that stress, integrate that experience, and move forward. Your dreaming mind is constantly working to help you recover from the stresses of waking life, to clear out the emotional residue, to restore your balance. There's a beautiful phrase for what dreams do with difficult, repetitive thoughts. Those intrusive worries, those loops your mind gets stuck in, those persistent anxieties that don't seem to serve any purpose. Dreams help you unlearn them. These are sometimes called parasitic thoughts. Thoughts that consume energy without providing benefit. Thoughts that circle endlessly without resolution. During dreams, your brain can interrupt these patterns. It can approach the underlying emotion from a different angle, in a different context, with different associations. It can create new connections, new perspectives, new possibilities. And sometimes, you wake up to find that a worry that felt urgent yesterday doesn't grip you quite the same way anymore. Something shifted while you slept. The thought lost its power. The pattern broke. This is your dreaming mind protecting you from your own mental loops, helping you release what no longer serves you, teaching your brain that it doesn't have to keep cycling through the same anxious territory. But here's the profound trade-off your brain makes, the deep wisdom in how dreams heal you. Your brain essentially trades memory for emotional balance. It allows the specific details of difficult experiences to fade. It lets the precise narrative become fuzzy. It permits the exact sequence of events to blur and dissolve. But it preserves the emotional learning, the growth, the wisdom, the change in how you understand yourself and the world. You might not remember exactly what happened in a dream where you worked through fear, but you wake up a little less afraid. You might not remember the details of a dream that processed grief, but you wake up a little lighter, a little more at peace with loss. The memory fades. The healing remains. This is not a flaw in the system. This is the system working exactly as it should. Your brain is choosing emotional well-being over perfect recall. It's choosing resilience over exhaustive documentation. It's choosing your ability to move forward over your ability to recount the past in precise detail. And this is perhaps the most compassionate thing your dreaming mind does for you. It doesn't force you to remember every painful step of processing. It doesn't make you relive the healing journey over and over. It simply does the work, extracts the benefit, and then releases the memory of the work itself. You get the healing without having to carry the weight of every therapeutic dream you've ever had. You get the emotional growth without the burden of remembering every difficult feeling you processed in your sleep. Your brain knows what you need to keep and what you need to release. It knows how to help you heal without overwhelming you with the details of that healing. So tonight, as you sleep, trust this process. Trust that your dreams will bring up what needs attention. Trust that they'll do so in that protected, low-stress state where real processing can happen. Trust that they'll work on your behalf, softening trauma, strengthening positive emotions, breaking unhelpful patterns, restoring your emotional balance. You don't need to remember any of it. You don't need to understand it. You don't even need to know it's happening. Your brain is an exquisite healer. It knows how to take care of you. It's been doing this work your entire life, every night, in the darkness, while you rest. And in the morning, you'll wake up a little different. A little lighter. A little more integrated. A little more whole. Not because you consciously worked through something, but because your dreaming mind did the work for you. Quietly, patiently, with profound intelligence. This is the gift of dreams. This is why you dream. Not to remember, but to heal. Not to know, but to grow. Not to hold on, but to let go. So let go now. Let the dreams come. Let them do their work. Your emotional healing is already underway. It's happening right now, as you rest, as you breathe, as you drift deeper into sleep. You are being taken care of. You are being healed. You are being gently, gradually, beautifully transformed. Trust it. Trust your dreaming mind. Trust the process that's been serving you since your first night in this world. And rest, knowing that by morning you'll be lighter, softer, more balanced, more whole. Not because you'll remember your dreams, but because your dreams will have remembered you. They'll have held space for your difficult feelings. They'll have processed what needed processing. They'll have traded the weight of specific memories for the lightness of emotional wisdom. And you'll carry that wisdom with you into the new day, even if you can't name it, even if you can't describe it, even if you never remember the dreams that gave it to you. This is the secret work of the sleeping mind. This is the healing that happens in the dark. And it's happening for you right now. Rest easy. You're in the most capable hands imaginable. Your own. There is a space between sleeping and waking. A threshold state. A place where consciousness doesn't fully surrender to the dream, but doesn't pull away from it either. This is the realm of lucid dreaming. And it's more remarkable than you might imagine. Breathe slowly. Let yourself wander without reaching, without grasping. Most dreams happen to you. They unfold around you, and you move through them without questioning, without choosing, without awareness that you're dreaming. You're simply there, experiencing, accepting whatever comes. But sometimes, something shifts. A moment of recognition. A sudden knowing. Wait. This is a dream. And when that happens, when you become aware that you're dreaming while still inside the dream, something extraordinary occurs in your brain. Scientists have proven that lucid dreamers can signal from inside their dreams. They can communicate with the waking world while still asleep. Researchers taught people a specific pattern of eye movements to perform once they became lucid. And then, in sleep laboratories, they watched. They monitored brain activity, eye movements, breathing, all the markers of sleep. And then it happened. The sleeper's eyes moved in that predetermined pattern. Left, right, right. A signal from inside the dream. A message from consciousness that was simultaneously asleep and aware. The researchers could respond. Flash a light. Play a sound. And the dreaming person could perceive it, incorporate it into the dream, and signal back. A conversation across the threshold. A bridge between worlds. This shouldn't be possible. Sleep and waking are supposed to be separate states. But lucid dreaming reveals that consciousness is more fluid than we thought. That awareness can exist in layers, in hybrid forms, in states we're only beginning to understand. When you become lucid in a dream, your brain enters what scientists call a hybrid state. You're not fully asleep, but you're not awake either. You're suspended between, accessing qualities of both states simultaneously. Parts of your brain that normally shut down during dreaming, particularly areas involved in self-awareness and executive control, they flicker back to life. Not fully, not to waking levels, but enough. Enough for you to know that you're you. Enough for you to make choices. Enough for you to remember that there's a waking world you'll return to. Meanwhile, all the characteristics of REM sleep remain. Your body is still paralyzed. Your visual cortex is still generating imagery. Your emotional centers are still active. The dream continues, but now you're aware inside it. A conscious guest in your own unconscious creation. This hybrid state makes something unprecedented possible. Two-way communication during dreams. Not just the one-way flow of the dreaming mind creating experiences, but an actual exchange. The outside world can send information in. The dreaming mind can send information out. Questions can be asked. Answers can be given. Researchers have asked simple math problems to lucid dreamers. What is 8 minus 6? And the dreamer, floating in some impossible landscape, somehow hears the question, computes the answer, and signals it back with eye movements. 2 blinks. The correct answer. The dream continues around them while they solve waking world problems. 2 realities occupying the same consciousness. 2 types of awareness running in parallel. It's like standing in 2 rooms at once, experiencing 2 timelines simultaneously, being, in some essential way, in 2 places at the same time. People who experience lucid dreams often describe them as similar to psychedelic experiences. That same sense of heightened awareness. That same vividness, that crystalline clarity where colors seem more saturated, details more intricate, reality more malleable and alive. Both states seem to expand consciousness beyond its normal boundaries. Both create a sense of profound presence, of being more aware, not less, even though the world you're aware of isn't the ordinary one. In both psychedelic and lucid states, people report feeling a deep sense of wonder, a connection to something larger, a dissolution of the usual boundaries between self and world, a sense that consciousness is vaster and stranger than everyday experience suggests. This similarity isn't just subjective. It shows up in brain activity too. During lucid dreaming, something remarkable happens. Gamma waves, the fastest brain waves, return. Gamma waves are associated with high-level cognitive processing, with conscious awareness, with that sense of everything coming together into a unified experience. During normal dreaming, gamma activity is low. But when you become lucid, gamma waves surge back, particularly in the frontal regions of your brain. It's as if a light switches on. As if the conscious observer steps back into the theater of the mind and watches the dream unfold with full awareness. The dream continues, but now there's someone home. Someone watching. Someone who knows this is a dream and can, to some degree, participate in shaping it. This return of gamma activity is the neural signature of consciousness re-entering the dream space, of awareness finding its way back into the simulation. For most people, lucid dreams happen rarely, if at all. A few times in a lifetime. Maybe once or twice a year. Brief moments of recognition that fade as quickly as they arise. But there are techniques that can increase the likelihood of lucidity. And one of the most studied is a compound called galantamine. Galantamine is a naturally occurring substance, derived from certain flowers, that affects acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter involved in memory and awareness. When taken before sleep, particularly during a period of sleep interruption, it significantly increases the chances of becoming lucid. People who take galantamine report longer, more stable, more vivid lucid dreams. The hybrid state lasts longer. The awareness holds more firmly. The dream remains clear and controllable for extended periods. It's not magic. It's not mystical. It's simply a way of nudging brain chemistry toward that threshold state where consciousness can exist in 2 modes at once. But even without any intervention, some people naturally experience lucid dreams frequently, and their brains show something fascinating. Frequent lucid dreamers have stronger connectivity between certain brain regions, even while awake. The areas involved in self-awareness and reflective thought show more communication with the rest of the brain. It's as if their neural networks are more integrated, more capable of maintaining awareness across different states of consciousness. This might be why they can become lucid more easily. Their brain's default mode is already more connected, more self-aware, more prone to questioning and noticing. That tendency carries over into sleep. It allows consciousness to slip into dreams more readily, more naturally. For these individuals, the boundary between sleeping and waking is simply more permeable. They move between states with greater fluidity, greater ease. And sometimes, for frequent lucid dreamers, something even stranger happens. They discover persistent dreamscapes, places they return to again and again across multiple dreams. A house with infinite rooms. A city that doesn't exist in waking life but has its own consistent geography. A landscape they've explored so many times that they know it intimately, that it feels as real and familiar as any place they visited while awake. These persistent dreamscapes suggest that the dreaming mind can create stable environments, stable worlds, that exist somewhere in the architecture of memory and imagination. Places you can visit, leave, and return to. Places that wait for you, night after night, with the patience of a parallel world. This is one of the most mysterious aspects of lucid dreaming. Not just that you can become aware in a dream, but that the dream space itself can have continuity, can have persistence, can be, in some sense, a place that exists independent of any single dream. What does it mean that your mind can create a consistent world you can return to? What does it say about consciousness, about imagination, about the inner landscapes we carry without knowing? These are questions without answers, just invitations to wonder. At its core, lucid dreaming is conscious awareness inside REM sleep. It's the unlikely marriage of two things that seem incompatible. Full REM physiology, body paralyzed, visual cortex generating imagery, emotions flowing freely, combined with waking-like awareness, self-reflection, intentionality, control. You are simultaneously the dreamer and the dream, the creator and the witness, the sleeping body and the aware mind. It's a paradox, a state that shouldn't exist but does. A crack in the usual structure of consciousness through which something strange and beautiful can emerge. And what's perhaps most astonishing is that this isn't supernatural. It's not paranormal or impossible or outside the bounds of biology. It's simply an edge case, an unusual configuration of a perfectly natural system. Your brain is capable of this hybrid state. It can hold awareness and dreaming at the same time. It can signal from sleep. It can navigate between inner and outer worlds with remarkable fluidity. Most nights, you won't experience this. Most dreams will simply carry you along, and that's exactly as it should be. The healing work of ordinary dreams is just as valuable, just as important, just as profound. But knowing that lucidity is possible, that consciousness can exist in this liminal space, that your mind contains this potential, there's something quietly miraculous about that. You contain multitudes, states within states, layers of awareness that can separate and recombine in unexpected ways. You are more than one kind of consciousness, more than one way of being aware. And on those rare nights when you find yourself lucid, when you suddenly know you're dreaming, when that hybrid state opens up around you, there's no need to do anything special. No need to force or control or make something happen. Just notice. Just be aware. Just stand in that threshold space and marvel at what your mind can do. Because in that moment, you're witnessing something profound. Not just a dream, but consciousness itself, revealed as something fluid and vast and full of possibilities we're only beginning to understand. You're standing between worlds. Awake in sleep. Conscious in the unconscious. Aware in the midst of pure imagination. And that awareness, that hybrid state, that bridge between dreaming and waking, it's one of the most beautiful things a human mind can experience. Not because you can control the dream or fly or perform impossible feats, though you might, but simply because you're there, aware, present, witnessing the extraordinary creative power of your own sleeping mind, seeing, directly, the worlds you build each night. The realities you generate effortlessly from nothing but neural activity and imagination. Lucid dreaming is a gift, a window into the architecture of consciousness itself, a reminder that you are stranger and more capable than you usually realize. But it's not necessary. It's not essential. It's simply possible. And that possibility, that potential hiding in every night of sleep, is enough. Just knowing it's there. Just knowing your mind can do this. Just knowing that consciousness is more flexible, more mysterious, more magnificent than waking life usually reveals. So rest now. Drift into ordinary dreaming, or perhaps, if the conditions align, into that rare lucid awareness. Either way, you're exploring the depths of your own mind. Either way, you're experiencing the remarkable capabilities of consciousness itself. And that's worth wondering about, worth marveling at, worth surrendering to, with gratitude and awe. Your mind is extraordinary. Your dreams are extraordinary. And the fact that you can sometimes wake up inside them, can sometimes become aware while remaining asleep, that's just one more reminder of how vast you really are. How much mystery you contain. How many impossible things you do every single night without even trying. Rest in that mystery. Let it hold you. Let it amaze you, gently, without excitement, without effort. Just wonder. Just rest. Just dream. Sometimes, dreams take you to the edge, to a place where sleep turns unsettling, where fear enters the dream space. And that's okay. Even fear has a place here. Even the difficult dreams serve you. Breathe. Stay soft. Let's talk about the shadows. There's an experience that frightens people more than almost any other sleep phenomenon. You wake up, but you can't move. Your body won't respond. You try to lift your arm, turn your head, call out, nothing. You're trapped, paralyzed, aware but helpless. And sometimes, you're not alone. There's a presence in the room. A figure. A weight on your chest. Something watching you from the corner, from the doorway, from right beside your bed. This is sleep paralysis. And if you've experienced it, you know how terrifying it can be. But here's what's actually happening. Here's the truth that can take the edge off the fear. Sleep paralysis is a mixed REM state. It's what occurs when your mind wakes up before your body does. When consciousness returns but the paralysis that protects you from acting out your dreams hasn't released yet. During REM sleep, your muscles are temporarily paralyzed. This is normal. This is protective. It keeps you safe from thrashing, walking, or moving while you dream. But usually, this paralysis lifts the moment you wake. Your brain and body transition together. Consciousness returns and mobility returns at the same time. So seamlessly you never notice there was a separation. In sleep paralysis, that timing gets disrupted. Your conscious awareness comes back first. And for a few seconds, maybe a minute, rarely longer, you're awake in a body that's still locked in sleep mode. It's disorienting. It feels wrong. But it's not dangerous. Your body will catch up. The paralysis will release. Movement will return. It always does. You're not trapped. You're just in between. Suspended for a moment in a state where waking and sleeping are still untangling from each other. And during those moments, your brain is in a fascinating position. Your REM brain remains active. The parts of your mind that were just generating dreams are still online, still firing, still creating. But now you're conscious. Now you're aware. And those two things, that dream-generating machinery and your waking awareness, they overlap in strange ways. Your brain is still primed to create imagery, to generate scenarios, to produce experiences. But instead of projecting them into a dream world you're fully immersed in, it's projecting them into the dark room around you, into the space you're actually in. And this creates something deeply unsettling. A blending of dream and reality. The imagined and the actual occupying the same space at the same time. There's another factor at play too. Your brain's threat detection system, the networks responsible for vigilance and danger recognition, they become hyperactive during sleep paralysis. You're in a vulnerable state. You can't move. And some ancient part of your brain recognizes this as dangerous, as a situation where you need to be alert, watchful, ready to respond to threats. So it amplifies threat signals. It interprets ambiguous stimuli as dangerous. It fills the darkness with potential predators, potential dangers, potential harm. This hypervigilant threat response is why sleep paralysis almost always feels frightening. Not because there's anything actually dangerous happening, but because your brain is chemically primed to perceive danger. It's scanning for threats. And when your threat detection system is turned up that high, it will find threats, even if it has to create them from shadows and imagination. And this is where the hallucinations come in. The figures, the presences, the entities that seem so terrifyingly real. Hallucinations during sleep paralysis are incredibly common. Most people who experience paralysis also experience some form of hallucination. Visual, auditory, tactile, or often all three at once. You might see a figure standing at the foot of your bed. Dark, menacing, watching. You might hear footsteps, whispers, breathing. You might feel a weight pressing down on your chest, making it hard to breathe. Or hands touching you, grabbing you, holding you down. None of this is real. But your brain doesn't know that. Your REM machinery is still producing imagery. Your threat detection system is amplifying everything as dangerous. And your conscious mind is experiencing it all as if it's actually happening in the room with you. It's a perfect storm of neural circumstances that create something that feels absolutely, terrifyingly real. But it's not. It's a kind of waking dream. A hallucination projected onto reality by a brain caught between states. And here's something that might help you understand what's happening. Sleep paralysis hallucinations are remarkably similar to certain psychedelic states. Both involve the brain generating vivid, convincing perceptual experiences that aren't based on external reality. Both can create a sense of presence, of entities, of realities beyond the ordinary. Both can feel absolutely real in the moment, even though they're internally generated. The difference is that psychedelic experiences usually feel expansive, curious, exploratory, while sleep paralysis feels threatening. But mechanically, they're similar. Both are your brain creating rich sensory experiences from the inside out. Understanding this doesn't make the fear disappear completely. When you're in the middle of sleep paralysis, logic doesn't always help. The experience is too visceral, too convincing, too immediately terrifying. But if you can remember, even for a moment, what's actually happening, if you can remind yourself that this is a mixed state, that your body is safe, that the presences aren't real, that this will pass in moments, it can help. The fear itself won't hurt you. The paralysis won't last. The hallucinations will fade. Your body will release. Movement will return. And you'll be left in your dark room, alone, safe, exactly as you were before. Nothing will have happened to you. You will simply have experienced your own brain's remarkable capacity to generate convincing experiences from neural activity alone. And if you experience sleep paralysis regularly, there are things that can help. Improving sleep quality, reducing stress, sleeping on your side instead of your back. These simple changes can reduce the frequency. But more than anything, understanding helps. Knowing what it is removes some of the existential dread. It's not a supernatural attack. It's not a sign of something wrong with you. It's not a portal to something dangerous. It's just your brain, caught for a moment between sleeping and waking, doing strange and frightening things with that in-between state. You're safe. You've always been safe. Even in the most terrifying moments of paralysis, you were never in danger. Your body was protecting itself. Your brain was creating experiences. But you were safe in your bed the entire time. So if it happens again, if you wake up paralyzed, if the shadows take form and move toward you, if the weight presses down and the fear surges up, breathe. Remind yourself. This is temporary. This is harmless. This is just the machinery of sleep still running while consciousness returns. You're not trapped. You're transitioning. And in moments, maybe seconds, your body will catch up to your mind. The paralysis will dissolve. The hallucinations will fade. Movement will return. And you'll be okay. Just as you always have been. Just as you always will be. Even at the edge of fear, even in the darkest corners of the sleeping mind, you are fundamentally safe. Your brain is simply showing you what it can create. The power of perception. The convincing nature of internally generated experience. It's frightening, yes. But it's also, in a strange way, a testament to how extraordinary your mind is. How vividly it can generate experience. How completely it can convince you of things that aren't real. That's a power, not a curse. A capacity, not a flaw. And the more you understand it, the less power it has to frighten you. So rest now, knowing that even if paralysis comes, even if the shadows take form, even if fear rises in your chest, you're safe. It will pass. It always passes. And you will remain unharmed in the quiet safety of your own room. The edge of fear is not a place you have to fear. It's just another part of the landscape of sleep. Another experience your brain can create. And you can move through it, just as you move through everything else. With breath. With understanding. With the knowledge that you are safe, you have always been safe, and you will continue to be safe. Even in the darkest dreams. Even in the paralyzed moments. Even at the very edge of fear. You are okay. You will always be okay. Rest now. Let the fear dissolve. Let the understanding settle. Let sleep hold you gently, knowing that even its shadows cannot harm you. You're safe. You're always safe. Even when your mind tells you otherwise. Trust that. Rest in that. And let go. Let's turn now toward something beautiful. Something that reveals just how adaptable, how resilient, how magnificent the dreaming mind truly is. Breathe deeply. Open yourself to wonder. There's a question people sometimes ask, usually with genuine curiosity. Do blind people dream? And the answer is yes. Absolutely yes. Profoundly yes. Blindness doesn't stop dreaming. It transforms it, expands it, takes it into territories that sighted dreamers rarely visit. Because dreams are not just visual. They never were, even for those who see. Dreams are experiences. And experience is so much more than sight alone. Think about your own dreams for a moment. Yes, there are images. But there are also sounds, textures, temperatures, the feeling of movement, the sensation of space around you, emotions that flood through you without any visual component at all. Dreams engage all of your senses. They always have. It's just that for sighted people, vision often dominates, overshadowing everything else. But for those born blind, or who lost their sight early in life, dreams unfold in a completely different sensory landscape. And it's extraordinary. When someone has never experienced vision, when their eyes have never sent visual information to their brain, something remarkable happens. The visual cortex, that large portion of the brain typically devoted to processing what we see, doesn't just sit idle. The brain is too efficient for that. Too adaptable. Too committed to using every resource available. So the visual cortex gets reassigned. It begins processing other types of information. Touch, sound, spatial awareness, language. All the other senses expand into that neural territory, claiming it, using it, strengthening it. This reassignment makes blind individuals extraordinarily sensitive to non-visual information. Their brains have more processing power devoted to sound, to texture, to spatial mapping, to all the senses that sighted people often take for granted. And this expanded sensory processing doesn't shut down during sleep. It continues into dreams. People who are blind from birth report dreams that are intensely sensory-rich. Dreams full of sound, texture, movement, spatial relationships, emotional atmosphere. Dreams where they navigate complex environments through touch and sound alone, where they recognize people by voice and presence, where the world is just as vivid, just as detailed, just as immersive as any sighted person's visual dreams. Perhaps even more so. Because their dreaming mind has the full power of the visual cortex available for processing these other sensory modalities. Imagine a dream where you can feel the texture of every surface with perfect clarity. where sound has depth and dimension and directionality that creates a complete map of space, where you know exactly where you are, where others are, how the environment flows around you, all through senses other than sight. This is what dreaming can be when vision isn't the dominant sense, when the brain has organized itself around a different hierarchy of perception. And there's something else fascinating. Among people born blind, there's a much higher prevalence of perfect pitch, the ability to identify or produce any musical note without a reference point. Perfect pitch is rare in the general population, but among those born blind, it's significantly more common. Why? Because that reassigned visual cortex can be recruited for processing sound with extraordinary precision. The neural real estate typically used for analyzing visual patterns gets used for analyzing auditory patterns instead. And the result is a level of auditory processing that most sighted people can only dream of. This heightened auditory ability carries into dreams. Dreams where music has layers and complexity and richness that's hard to describe. Dreams where sounds tell stories, create atmospheres, convey information with a depth and nuance that goes beyond what most people experience. The dreaming mind, when freed from the dominance of vision, reveals capacities we didn't know consciousness possessed. Now, for people who lose their sight later in life, after they've already experienced years of seeing, dreaming takes a different form. These individuals continue to dream visually, often for the rest of their lives. Their dreams contain images, colors, faces, landscapes, all the visual content they knew before losing their sight. The visual cortex, having spent years processing sight, maintains those patterns. Those neural pathways, once established, remain. The brain remembers how to generate visual experiences, even after the eyes can no longer provide visual input. So someone who becomes blind as an adult might spend their waking hours navigating a world without sight, but their dreaming hours still contain all the visual richness they once knew. Over time, their dreams might begin to incorporate more non-visual elements. Sound might become more prominent. Spatial awareness through other senses might strengthen. But the visual component typically persists, a ghost of what once was, preserved in the architecture of the dreaming mind. And this preservation tells us something profound about REM sleep itself. REM sleep actually protects the visual cortex. It keeps those neural pathways active, maintains their function, prevents them from degrading completely even when they're not receiving input from the eyes. Dreams aren't separate from life. They're woven from the same threads, shaped by the same forces, reflecting the same concerns, fears, joys, and preoccupations that fill our waking hours. There's one more factor that influences dream recall across everyone, regardless of gender: neuroticism, the personality trait associated with emotional sensitivity, anxiety, tendency toward negative emotions. People who score high in neuroticism remember more dreams. Their slightly heightened emotional reactivity, their tendency to notice and dwell on feelings, it carries into sleep. It creates conditions where dreams are more likely to be noticed, remembered, given significance. This isn't good or bad. It's just another way that who you are shapes how you dream, or at least, how you remember dreaming. All of this, these gentle differences, these subtle patterns, they're part of the vast tapestry of human dreaming. The way this universal experience takes slightly different forms in different minds. We all dream, every one of us, every night, but we dream as ourselves, as the particular consciousness we carry, with the concerns, the histories, the identities we embody. And that's beautiful. That diversity, that variation within the universal. The way something so fundamental can still be so personal. Your dreams are yours, shaped by everything you are, everything you've lived, everything you carry. They're not generic. They're not interchangeable with anyone else's dreams. They're uniquely yours, emerging from your particular mind, your particular life, your particular way of being in the world. And yet, they're also universal, part of the ancient human experience of sleeping and dreaming, connected to every other dreaming mind across all of time. Both things are true. You dream alone, and you dream with everyone. And as we come to the end of this long night of exploration, as we circle back to where we began, this is what remains. Dreams are mysterious. Profoundly so. We've learned so much, discovered so many mechanisms, mapped so many patterns. And still, the essential mystery remains. Why do we dream? What are dreams for? What do they mean? We have partial answers. Emotional processing, memory consolidation, threat simulation, creative insight, neural maintenance. All true, all important, but none of them capture the whole truth. None of them explain why it feels the way it feels, why consciousness takes this particular shape, why we spend a third of our lives in this strange, private, endlessly fascinating state. The mystery remains. And perhaps that's exactly as it should be. Perhaps dreams aren't meant to be fully explained. Perhaps they're meant to be experienced, wondered about, respected, and then released. Perhaps the not knowing is part of the gift. The way dreams keep something of ourselves hidden even from ourselves. The way they preserve a space of pure mystery in an increasingly explained world. So tonight, when you close your eyes, when you drift into sleep, when the dreams come or don't come, when you remember or forget, don't worry about understanding. Don't strain to recall. Don't try to analyze or interpret or make sense of it all. Just sleep. Just dream. Just let the mystery be mysterious. Your brain will do what it's always done. Process emotions. Consolidate memories. Rehearse scenarios. Create experiences. Work through difficulties. Heal what needs healing. All without your conscious direction. All without your awareness. All in the beautiful, automatic, deeply intelligent way your sleeping mind has always worked. And whether you're someone who remembers many dreams or few, whether your dreams are vivid or vague, whether they're emotional or neutral, colorful or abstract, populated with many characters or just yourself alone, they're yours. They're perfect. They're doing exactly what they need to do. You don't need to remember them for them to serve you. You don't need to understand them for them to heal you. You don't need to do anything except sleep. The dreaming will take care of itself. The forgetting will take care of itself. The processing, the learning, the emotional regulation, the creativity, the memory consolidation, all of it. It's already happening. It's been happening your whole life. It will continue happening every night for as long as you live. This is your inheritance as a human being, as a mammal, as a conscious creature, the gift of sleep, the mystery of dreams, the nightly journey into an inner world you'll never fully know. And that's beautiful, more beautiful than full understanding could ever be. So rest now, completely, fully, without reservation or worry or the need to remember any of this. Let it all go. The facts, the explanations, the patterns and mechanisms and mysteries. Let them dissolve back into the darkness. Let them become part of the vast unknown that dreams emerge from and return to. And simply be. Simply sleep. Simply dream or don't dream, or dream and forget, or wake with fragments that dissolve like mist. Whatever happens, it's perfect. It's yours. It's the ancient rhythm of consciousness that's been carrying you since birth and will carry you until your final sleep. Trust it. Trust the forgetting as much as the dreaming. Trust the mystery as much as the knowledge. You're safe. You've always been safe. In the sleeping and the waking. In the remembering and the forgetting. In the dreaming and the darkness between dreams. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Doing exactly what you're meant to do. Sleeping. Dreaming. Being. In the most natural, necessary, beautiful way possible. Rest now. The night is here. The dreams are waiting. Or the dreamless sleep is waiting. Or something in between. Whatever comes, it's perfect. It's yours. It's the gift your brain gives you every single night. Receive it with gratitude. With trust. With the willingness to let go of understanding and simply experience. This is the end of the story. But it's also the beginning. Because every night, the story starts again. You close your eyes. You drift. You dream. You forget. You wake. And the mystery continues. Forever. For as long as you live. This beautiful, ancient, endlessly fascinating cycle. Sleep and dream. Wake and wonder. Sleep and forget. Wake and begin again. This is what it means to be human, to be conscious, to be alive. And you're doing it perfectly. You've always been doing it perfectly. You always will. Rest now. Sleep deeply. Dream beautifully. Or don't dream at all. Either way, you're safe. You're held. You're exactly where you need to be. In the soft darkness. In the gentle mystery. In the ancient rhythm of sleeping and waking that connects you to everything that's ever lived. Good night. Sleep well. And let the dreams come, or not come, exactly as they should. You're home. You've always been home. And you always will be. In the sleeping. In the dreaming. In the forgetting. In the mystery that remains, no matter how much we learn. Rest. Dream. Forget. And wake gently when it's time. The story is over. The sleep continues. And all is well. All is well. All has always been well. All will always be well. Sleep now. Just sleep. That's all you need to do. Sleep. And let the rest take care of itself. Good night.
you.